I'll be walking through the setup I use to go from all these paper notebooks and notes to using my Supernote A6X as the only notebook in my daily workflow for the past year. The things I'll be talking about in this video will work on both the Supernote A5X and the A6X. The main idea behind my setup is to reduce friction. To me, this means making it as effortless as possible to take down notes and to find what I've written down. Last year, I realized I was making way too many folders and wasting too much time choosing folders or finding the right folder that something was in. I decided to switch to a very flat and minimal folder structure. And the first part of that system is I'll be using the document folder to hold all of my work files, and the note folder to hold all of my personal files. For some of you, this may sound a little weird, but I found which folder you use actually doesn't matter. The sidebar on the right will go to your last open note file or your last open document file, regardless of where you keep that note or document on your device. So I'm just using the system of two main folders to make my life easier. And within the main folder, I'll be structuring things like this. Everything in the root of the folder, I'll treat as in my inbox. Those are things that I haven't sorted or fully processed yet. So I can jot down notes from an impromptu meeting, or an idea that just popped into my head, and I don't have to think about where to put it. I can just make it right at the root of the folder. And if I don't have time to rename it or figure out where it should go, it can just sit there until I have time to process that note. I can come back to it, add a keyword, rename the file, or maybe even copy the notes into an existing notebook. Once I've processed the file, I'll move it from my inbox into a folder specific to that general topic or project. These are folders for things that I'm currently working on. And when a project is completed, I can move that project folder into this archive folder. So I have it on my Supernote as reference, but it's out of sight. This way of managing notes is honestly only possible because I can still find the files that I want using some key Supernote features. So instead of my old paper system of having to make sure I have the right notebooks and the right documents on hand, I keep all of my notes and documents on the Supernote and use its features to find the right notes or documents when I need them. Something I really like a lot is the Favorite Files feature, which I use for files I'm currently working on. Using stars is a quick way to find all of my pending tasks, whether they're in my notes, my PDF planner, or any other documents. These are things that I need to do or to follow up on. The improved search function also makes it much easier to use keywords for project and knowledge management. I really like how it remembers your past several searches, so you can just tap. How I use them to manage my files is I have one keyword per project or topic. So if I want to find everything I need to work on some training I'm facilitating next week, it's all there, and I can view it either by the files that I need or by the specific pages that I need. I like keeping it arranged by date, so the latest files are on top. And if I click through to one of the files, I can work on that file, and then when I navigate back to the search, my list is still there. I like to keep a running list of my keywords, so my projects and things I'm doing, in something I call a sticker sheet. So under the keywords list, I have some hand-drawn stickers, just some elements that I can paste into my notes to make them a little more eye-catching and to highlight information better. I also keep a notebook using some Kanban templates that I made. I have a really basic one that just holds general tasks and to-dos, and a template with some blank headings. So I can make a custom board for each project and quickly see its level of progress. I also, of course, have my work planner here in quick access, linked to the monthly page of the current month. I like this particular planner because the spaces in the monthly view are quite generous and it can be customized to add the national holidays of your country. I also requested a daily page without an agenda column since I rarely use that column and prefer having more space for notes. And I have some custom sections in the back for my monthly goals and monthly milestones. I won't get into my personal notebook since I already have some personal things in it, but I did make myself some minimal templates that I can use for things like a sentence a day habit, and you're welcome to use them as the basis for some of your own. I have links to downloads for the templates I made and to where I bought my planner in the description box. To learn more about how to use the different Supernote features I described, click on this video. And stay tuned to my channel for more videos on using your Supernote. Thanks for watching.